Please, God.
This is God.
You gotta have a nice wet palate as I discuss this.
1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street, a film by Wes Craven, starring Heather Langenkamp, Johnny Depp, Ronnie Blakely, John Saxon, Amanda Weiss, the dude who had to change his name to make it sound more Italian. If there is one thing they want to like change on this release, I would be for that. I know I'm
give him his name back.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the guy who played Rod, Tina's boyfriend.
Yes,
you know, he was. It's Nick. I forget his last name because it's a lie on this movie. He's Hispanic, but in 1984 he had to change his name, and I forget what he went with, but it's like Italian sounding just to be accepted in Hollywood.
I don't expect you to believe me anyway.
So if they wanted to alter A Nightmare on Elm Street to give Rod and my man his proper name on the opening credits and end credits, that is one alteration I could stand behind.
Rod, we support you.
Thoughts, honestly, that is one I think I could get behind.
I could too. I don't think they care enough to change any of that for him.
Do you think Nick cares enough?
Don't look at me like I'm some fucking fruitcake or something.
So Russ, let's get to this news here. Nightmare on Elm Street. It obviously is one of the more highly anticipated titles that have been announced this year. And when it got announced, much like many of these other Warner Brothers titles, Terminator included, 7 at least had a mock-up, but it's since been it says if that's even to be determined, I think at this point. But finally, things are starting to trickle in for A Nightmare on Elm Street. And much like we always feel around a lot of these when you don't know what you're getting ready to pre-order because there's no details, there's no art, there's no nothing. You're just praying to God that what they share once you finally, locked it in, that it's going to be what you want.
We'll see, bitch.
They have finally showed what the regular edition looks like, the Steelbook edition looks like, the Ultimate Collector's Edition. The specs have been revealed. My Amazon pre-order from the UK, because I pre-ordered the Ultimate Collector's Edition, now has a date of arriving between October 15th and October 18th. So things are starting to become solidified, and I don't know how you feel or the audience feels, but I will say that for once, I'm actually shocked that all of the editions here, I feel like, are right where they need to be. Like I don't think I see many things to be upset about.
I have a few minor complaints, but you're right. Nothing to be upset about. I need to shut my mouth ultimately. But since we have a channel, I am going to speak my mind, but they're minor. Let's dig in, man. Let's go through, because I pre-ordered the Ultimate Collectors immediately. I'm actually unsure myself what comes with what. As you said, there's a lot of options here.
So these are the two main options, the regular and the Steelbook. The regular is this slipcover that's got Freddy on it, and the Steelbook is this old school VHS style. Now, the regular, I think, is fine. I don't know that I think you're going to get Freddy on the cover at this day and age. Again, you didn't really maybe need him to be on there, but the fact that he is, it doesn't really bother me. The Steelbook, however, I think is the most impressive thing here as far as these two options go. It looks like that old, I'd love to see what this looks like in person, this old VHS style case that's got the Warner Brothers logo at the top. It's got the horror genre sticker on it. It looks really, it looks like tattered. It looks great.
If it said Media Home Video at the bottom of that, I would love it. My gripe is that slip.
It's my new look. Like it?
Dude, you see his face clearly more on that slip than you do in any part of this actual movie.
You're right. No, and
that is a later photo of Freddy Krueger, and that's my only. But like I said, very minor complaint considering how they knocked the Steelbook art out. I'm with you. I love that old school VHS throwback style, but it just kind of bothers me that is not a 1984 Freddy Krueger image.
I agree with you, and that's what I said. I don't know that you absolutely need to have Freddy on it at all, but this day and age, they're going to put it on there. And like you said, they've got to give you the most iconic looking version of him.
And I'll admit, it could be a lot worse.
Yes, for sure.
For me complaining about that is so minor, because in having to throw Freddy on the cover like that, that's not bad at all.
No,
especially keeping the font the same as the original, not trying to update that to what it became in the sequels.
Yeah,
I like that they did that too.
Yeah,
but again, small complaint. Why you don't see him like that in the movie.
You don't know. And here's
that image on the back. I think that's from like New Nightmare or something.
Yeah. So here's the inside and the back of the Steelbook, or what it's going to look like when you pick it up. It's got the little wraparound on top, the 4K and the digital code and so forth, which again, I think what they're trying to achieve here looks really cool. And I think the back is maybe from, like you said, something different, but
you know what it looks like? Reminds me of those Stranger Things releases.
You are all my children now.
Oh, did they do like a VHS? Oh, they did do like a VHS
like
thing.
Target exclusive Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Reminds me of. I think that inner, when you open the Steelbook, that's great. I love using that image.
Yeah.
Because that's an image from the movie that actually you can showcase Freddy while it's backlit. You know what I mean? It's an actual scene in it. I like that. And that's not, I'm surprised they didn't do the arm thing on the inside of the Steelbook. That's what I thought they'd probably go with.
I could have seen that in there too. That would have fit like perfectly.
But I like that.
It would have made sense. And then lastly here, as far as options go, the granddaddy of them all, which is the Ultimate Collector's Edition. And this is where things really start to get popping off.
Let's get high.
The outer box here, so it's a Steelbook within an outer box, and the outer box here is that VHS style box, which again completely now enhances the whole vibe of that look. Now it actually looks like and feels like and will be harder. So it'll kind of be like a VHS box, and then the Steelbook on the inside is the original art, which thank God someone finally gets it right.
Yeah, that is sick. That is I think that's what all of us were asking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I can put my minor complaint about that slip aside since you did that with the steel. And you get the VHS style and the original artwork.
Yep.
They knew their fan base with this one.
Yeah, and it looks like a pretty interesting, cool booklet there, like a horizontal, like long sort of booklet. Obviously, all the photos, a certificate of authenticity. You have a poster with the Japanese version too, which looks really cool.
I've always loved that poster.
Yeah, dude.
I remember seeing that. I even want to say I've seen it at conventions over the years, but I've always loved that poster.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's really, really well done. I think this is exactly what I think a lot of people were hoping for. The one thing that I haven't seen, and everyone out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but this reminds me a lot of the, as an example, the Exorcist set that came out where this was the UK Special Collector's Edition. The inside had the original art steel, but in the UK, they were also just selling the original art steel by itself. I haven't seen that individual original art steel being separately sold yet, whereas the VHS style looking one is sold in both US and I believe UK or at least US in the moment. So I don't know, but yeah, man, it looks really good. Now, the other thing I wanted to get your take on, because I know you're a Nightmare on Elm Street aficionado beyond the films, but the documentaries and all the different thing that go into it. They have shared what the extras will be on here. Maybe you could tell me, is this something more, something the same than what's normally been there? So this is based off of the back of the slip on the original. This is or the regular, I mean. And it has
Matt, Wes Craven did not come back for a new commentary.
You shouldn't have buried me. I'm not dead.
And here's what the special features say: both the theatrical and uncut versions. Then you've got some alternate takes. Then you've got some commentaries. It looks like a handful of commentaries there. Some alternate endings, and then 3 featurettes. What's your take on what's being offered here?
The uncut version is what's going to get people excited most. I don't recall verbatim what every special feature and documentary I've
But do you think this is a good amount for the fans here?
That's a good amount, but there's plenty to pull from.
Yeah.
Plenty more to pull from.
Nothing new here, though. Does all that look familiar?
I don't know.
All of it looks familiar. Oh, yeah. House that Freddy built. Oh, definitely. Yeah, dude, those were on like the DVDs.
What about the uncut version? Where did that live?
The uncut version is the one that I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was on the Laserdisc. It may have been on that DVD box set, that black one. God, even I'm...
Correct us in the chat.
Yeah, correct us in the chat.
Lindsay, if you see a correction, shout it out.
But I know it wasn't on the Blu-ray at all. I know that. Yeah, all these alternate endings and stuff, that's common knowledge. Everyone knows Wes Craven hated having to tack on that last scene.
Exactly.
All the conventions you've gone to, have you ever met Robert Englund?
He's out of the original,
white whale?
He is, because his rules, By all accounts, he is a great person. He is one of the most awesome people you could ever approach and meet at a convention. But the problem is he's Robert Englund. The one time, I remember one, I've been to a couple he's been at. One was at a hotel that was right off the interstate. I'm not kidding you. The line to get to Robert Englund went outside the hotel, and it was almost up to the exit on the interstate.
Wow.
And you only had 8 hours to meet him.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy. If he likes you, if the conversation pops off,
yeah.
if he connects, he could sit there and talk to you for about 20 minutes. Or, it's
that's what I was going to ask. What's the experience like? Yeah.
So like I said, imagine you're waiting in that long line, and then he connected with somebody, spoke for about a half an hour. You just waited in a line for nothing, because come whenever his cutoff time is, it's done. Him and Bruce Campbell are the two where it's like, I've never even attempted it.
Oh, the fuck out of my face.
Although from the original, though, I've met John Saxon. I've met Heather Langenkamp.
Johnny Depp.
No, Johnny Depp's never.
Rod.
No, I've never seen him at any conventions. I haven't met Amanda Weiss. She's been at some, or Wiss. I'm probably mispronouncing her name. Tina.
How are you feeling about this set here? I'm going to bring the chat over. I'm going to see how everyone's feeling.
This set is incredible. I'm sorry. As collectors, none of us can complain about this. This is going to be in my top 5 of the year. Unless they completely destroy the transfer. If for some reason it's, they fumble incredibly, which they won't. This is going to be in my top 5.
I knew there was something about you I liked.
Joe 1400 collection edition is the best one. Original Vincent Doyle, original artwork. Hallelujah. Dinier in the UK. The Steelbook is the original artwork. Good for you, UK. You're always getting the goods here. Raised on Fiction. Mark has this on pre-order. Booyah. The uncut version was on a German release, I believe, says Mark.
Was that? Yeah. It's funny. I'm a collector. I loved the series as a child. I have a German Blu-ray media book. And that's why when you're asking me these questions, I have so many editions. I forget over what was the uncut one on? I know on most, especially in North America, it was pretty much never a thing.
The young, Heather Langenkamp's official site, you can get her DVD commentary autographed right now, half off. It's great, says Brent Madison.
Great.
And Dan Joker says this is what every fan enjoys or deserves. Absolutely. I mean, at this point, obviously this one was going to come out. Where do we go next? What studio? I mean, is the studio going to just maintain all of them, or is there going to be some here you can license out 4, or how's this going to play out? We're not getting the box set. I think and I'm a Quentin Tarantino holdout on a box set.
You'll get a box set of this before you'll get a Quentin Tarantino.
I'm a holdout on that, but I don't know, dude. I just feel like this doesn't seem like it's in the cards.
Everyone thought that about Friday the 13th for the longest time before Scream put out that Blu-ray set. All the rights issues were a mess. New Line, Nightmare was New Line. Warner Brothers owns New Line. Yeah, Warner Brothers has a relationship with Arrow, right? Doesn't Arrow release WB stuff?
Yeah.
You're asking what's the next move? Did they go solo releases, or I have the answer to that.
And if they do, which one?
Part 2 throws them off.
I don't care if you believe me or not.
If Part 2 wasn't a divisive sequel, I could see them going solo releases. And listen, Part 2 has gotten a ton of revisionist love over the years. I'm a day one fan. I fucking love Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. But it's never been the fan favorite. If Nightmare 3 came right after the original...
On a Steelbook, please.
Hold on, yeah. If Nightmare 3 was Nightmare 2, they'd be doing solo. This would be a James Cameron deal, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, 2 is the black sheep in a way in the eyes of old school fans. And box set would be the way to go. Listen, outside of me, I don't think anybody's buying Freddy's Dead on its own.
I want a Dream Warriors Steelbook, and
Everybody does. Dream Warriors is everyone's
and favorite. If the studios or whatever don't like 2 so much because of what it stands for, represents, and they're not going to put that out, sell it to Vinegar Syndrome or someone. Let them put it out. Why hold on to it if it's just going to die?
But if you're going to do that, I want a box set with all of them. I mean, I'd be perfectly happy if we get that with Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
But if like you're saying, well, just license it out, well, then do it with all of them and give me a nice set. But I don't think they're going to, as much fan love as 3 has, I don't think they're going to isolate it.
It'll be right as like physical media is like taking its last gasp. It's like their Hail Mary pass to get us all back into it again.
I'm with you. It'd be smart. Nightmare 3 is unanimously
printing money.
the favorite sequel.
How much?
I've met people who prefer 3 over the original.
Who gives a fuck what you think?
They're pricks. No, I'm just kidding.
I wasn't saying anything because I was like, it's me.
Dude, 3's a great sequel. Bill Maher's incredible in it.
Bill Maher. Is he in that? I always forget. Is he really in that?
Yes, dude. He's the main character. He
Oh,
works
no,
with
he's not.
Dave-
The guy that looks like Bill
the guy
Maher.
from Blowout.
Yeah. I was going to say, no, he's not. Give us the box, WB. See,
Hey.
there we go. Come on.
Nightmare 3 was ahead of its time in turning our beloved characters into douchebags. Remember what they did to Nancy's dad, John Saxon?
Yeah, they did.
He's like an alcoholic,
Yeah.
all miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of made sense, though. I mean, he went through some stuff, and his wife got pulled through the peephole of a door.
The only thing else I'm going to say is I'm so happy that we pre-ordered the one that we did. I'm so happy that it's now been revealed. I still have not pre-ordered anything Terminator 4K related. It's only showing that one Steelbook. I have not pre-ordered it because of that fact. I'm waiting for one of those to show up and see where we go from there. I hope we get something similar quality. I hope the same thing for 7. Like, we're still waiting to see that final come together.
So far in the 4K world, Nightmare on Elm Street is king of 1984 over Terminator.
I don't know.
Good job.
Good job. We're so happy. Thank you for once listening to the fans. I don't know what the backlash would have been if this was like really like sucked.
No.
Now all we need to do, everyone, is fingers crossed for the transfer itself. That's all. That's what's next. It's the next best. That's the next part of this.
I'll tell you what, though, I don't know if it's because of my love for this film and watching it so much as a little kid in the 80s, but every jump it's made, I've been
loving it.
So impressed by. This used to be, I remember when Blu-ray first came out, and Nightmare on Elm Street, that Blu-ray was one of the first I saw where I was just like, whoa, I've never seen so much in the background that I ever had before.
Gotcha.
You know, I could clarity, all that. So this is, they know. Look at what they did with the packaging. They know how important this is. I would be, come on,
100%, dude.
Come on, they're not gonna botch this one.
Nah, come on, they're not gonna botch this one. Yeah, dude. Let's just look at it one more time. There it is, looking good. Nightmare on Elm Street Ultimate Collector's Edition. So happy that we pre-ordered this one. Hope everyone out there is excited as well. Look forward to us picking this up and probably, like you said, being in maybe a top 5 of the year, depending on how it all turns out.